Hello everyone, welcome back to Bitcoin Trade. In this episode, this is mostly going to be a chart analysis, and here's the chart of Mt. Gox. And as you see, it did fall, and it did basically pretty much stop where I thought it might stop. So let's go over the charts here and compare the different charts. And I'm going to try to back out here where you can see what's going on here. And so I made this line, and this makes this chart makes sense to me on what it's doing. And it's kind of weird how it's correlated with also the news of Mt. Gox having withdrawal issues. Um, who knows why? There could be an investigation going on, um, with the FBI or other agencies, and maybe perhaps more money laundering. They could be having enough evidence to, I don't know, look into user accounts, see who they are. They could be requesting everyone's identification and maybe cross-reference to their database of possible criminals. I don't know. In any case, I'm not worried one bit because I'm not a criminal, and everything I have done is legitimate. So, but if I look at this, and if you know anything about trading, you understand these channels and these resistance line. And look, this chart and the technical analysis that I do makes perfect sense. Why it fell. This was a resistance line, and to continue this up on an uptrend, it has to break through, and it kind of made an attempt, but it didn't, and it just fell. Well, it doesn't mean it's the end of Bitcoin. It just means, there's not enough buyers to push through. That's all it means. Um, and in my opinion, Mt. Gox is a trader's platform. It's for people who trade. Um, it's not for criminals. It's not for money launderers. So I would not recommend going to Mt. Gox if you're one or the other. But if you are a trader and you know how to trade, and you are an investor of Bitcoins, a user as well, feel free. I would say don't fear Mt. Gox because it's still operating and still moving. You can still do trades. I think they're a little bit scrutinizing the withdrawal, both Bitcoin and money. They're looking it over again, maybe reaffirming people's identity. So who knows? You know, like I said, if you're in it for the U.S. dollars, you're on the wrong side of the trade. I just keep telling people you got to be a true believer in Bitcoin, and understand what it is and how it works, and understand how to trade Bitcoin, both at the exchange and in the real world. So, anyways, let's take a look at some other charts. And the reason why they didn't fall that much is basically because they they've never they've never, on a technical chart analysis, they haven't hit the resistance yet. This is Bitstamp. Here's the resistance line for Bitstamp that I would have used if I was trading at Bitstamp. I might start trading in all three. Um, Remember what I told you about hyper trading? So I might start doing that, and it might alleviate some of the problems that with all these exchanges having their issues here. But if you look at this has never hit the resistance, and it may fall, which it did, but it never really hit the resistance. So it's only a matter of time before it does, and then everything will just align itself to it. Same thing with BitC. And if you look at BitC, I mean, it never really ever came close to that resistance line. See, never came close. So it would make sense that it wouldn't fall because it never hit up. So the correction in Mt. Gox is nothing more than just that, a correction. And for someone who trades, you look for these kind of corrections. So I've had other limit orders around. I did have one hit, which is great because it was something that I used to buy Bitcoins to spend something. So the great thing about trading Bitcoins is that you can expend it and get something in real life, and essentially you did buy it and you are using it, okay? And what I'm doing later on is as the price drops, this is my trade I'm doing. I'm expecting the price to drop, and when it does, I'm just buying in. So essentially I did buy Bitcoins to use, but when I bought it is a matter of, I guess, facts and circumstances. I don't know. I'm just using a lot of these legality words because I'm just reading a lot. So anyways, I'm looking at this, and my gut feeling and my chart analysis tells me the price is going to drop. And if you've been watching my episodes, I mean, it's been almost, let me see here. What's today here? Let's say it started right around January 30th. So it's almost been, 4 or 5 days. And if you've been watching my episodes last 4 or 5 days, you know I've been looking at this as a downtrending channel, that the price action is moving in uptrending, on an uptrend channel within a larger downtrending channel. And so, of course, my feelings and my chart analysis was correct, and look what happened. Now, I'm seeing a lot of things here, and let's see if I could zoom in on the 15-minute, give you a better idea, or let me pull back a little. And I'm always redrawing lines, keeping things a little bit more cleaner, so I kind of get a better idea as the price action tells me what's going on with my chart analysis, tells me what to do as how I read my charts. And for some people this may be a form of gambling, and to some extent it is, but really, if you think about it in reality, every time you start a business, there's no guarantee that you'll ever make a penny. But the risk versus the reward, the risk is you may lose everything, but the reward is that you'll be able to generate a revenue and hopefully an income for you to sustain your, I guess for some people, a lifestyle, but for me it would be more of sustaining a livelihood of being able to just eat, take care of my family, and other things. So here we have the channel I've been telling you about. There's a hit against the top resistance line and just down and up, and I've been buying and selling around this price based on things that I'm going to use the Bitcoin as for money. Okay, I'm just replacing my original position here, and then as the price dropped here, you can see where this original channel here, the top portion of this, remember there's channels within channels, both going up and down, and then different layers of channels in which these things bop around, and you've been seeing it all the time. So I got the channel here, the downward channel, and then you'll see that it's just hitting against. It really wants to go down, and there's people holding out on hope, and then finally, I don't know if this was the news or what the deal is, who knows, but this drop in price makes sense to me because of, just look at it. And I've been saying for a while that that's a very hard resistant line, and what the price action needs to do in order to continue an uptrend. So it was very difficult. It was more easier to fall than it was to go up. But see, now that it's confirmed that this is something of a downtrending line, we may have to readjust the lines from this low point to this, and then you'll get more of a line that little difference may pull it out, and then you get more of a parallel line to these other lines, pretty close, and then it'll just start being a little bit more clear on what maybe the future of the price action will hold. Now at this point, this may be just a correction at Mt. Gox, because it seems like Mt. Gox moved the most downward. But even then, if you look at the price, I mean, you're still looking at, if you compare it to the lowest price, I mean, you're still looking at 50, 60, $160 difference. And then, you know, very close to this, instead of 160, you may have 150 or 140. You're still looking at $140 difference. And so it really hasn't changed a lot. It used to be 180, but I guess it's made its correction. But it's still going. Nothing's really ever shut down. And let's take a look at some of the other charts here, like this one here. Whoa, that whole thing is red. Let me try to focus for you guys. So yeah, this whole thing is red, which if you've been watching my episodes, I've kind of been forecasting this, you know, and it's going below its 30-day average, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. 30-day averages, you know, price go below 30-day average all the time. The thing is, it's a 30-day average, so it could have gone up $1 billion and then go, you know, be around that price range and then dip a little bit, and then, you know, depending on the 30 days, it could show red. But it does help an indication, a sell indicator, a sell signal, and it also helps with buy signals. And so they took BitC out. Don't know why. They do that every now and then. But look at Bitstamp. Bitstamp has fallen in value, not value. Well, it's fallen in value, but also in volume. And Mt. Gox is still about the same, apparently. Now I don't know why. I'm not sure why. But if you look at Mt. Gox and you look at Bitcoin China, they seem to be still alive and still kicking. They're definitely more than some of the other volume that's going through the other exchanges. And so, who knows what's going on? Maybe the criminals are leaving and they're taking their money and they're trying to go somewhere. I don't know. In any case, it doesn't stop, I think, people from stopping trading Bitcoins or whatever. But let's look at Bitstamp, and this is a 2-day, 15-minute, and that's kind of what's going on. There's a weird spike right there, but again, that's just, you know, that's price action. It's just the way it moves. And then let's look at Mt. Gox price. This is a 10-day 2-hour. Let me see here. Okay, 10-day 2-hour. So I backed up a little to see where it's going, and you can see it's just that momentum's just starting to lose out, and then it's finally just breaking out here. But let's take a look at just a regular normal. Day. Okay, so there's that. And so, you know, I had some limit orders, and it actually, my limit order was around where the resistance or the support line would have been. So somewhere around there. And you know, I've been patiently waiting. I've been patiently waiting 5 days for a better price to go in on, and there it is. So there's the chart analysis for today. Where's it going? I don't know where it's going to be. I can only take a good guess. But so far, I think a lot of things have to clear up before we start seeing an uptrend again. I think right now it's going to range between this channel. It's probably going to be ranging between the downward channel until it can break out, which who knows when it'll break out. But the point is that you know, it's this chart. What I'm trying to say is this chart makes a lot of sense for me because well, it's a trader's platform. people who know how to trade, um, understand price action movement on chart analysis. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would recommend people who are getting into Bitcoin understand chart analysis, come up with different strategies of how you trade. And like I said, what makes this very different than some of the other exchanges, especially with forex exchanges, in my opinion, is that you can't put a price above and below where the prices are. You can only put buy. These are all sell orders on top, and these are buy orders on the bottom. So whatever is in the middle, I mean, you can probably put a buy order slightly above or below all these other sell orders, but you can't put a buy order into the sell orders up here. So when I see this, what's driving the price are market orders, and I believe that's how it should be. It shouldn't be buy orders at this level, and then someone drives the price up, and you'll see these weird spikes and momentum. Some people call them momentum trading, where you're putting a buy order above the current price and it hits, and then causing it to go up, and then you're buying it successively with using limit orders. Instead of doing that, you're forced to make a buy on a market order driving the price up. And so instead of putting limit orders driving the price up, you're putting market orders to move the price action. And then the limit orders are ways to prevent or keep the price movement within that spread that's put in there. So market orders really move the price. And so when I was watching this, I saw several times 300 to 400 bitcoins being sold. And who knows? I could theorize and speculate. One speculation might be, and I don't know how true this is, or how plausible this is, but those bitcoins that are being seized, and the Fed's working with Mt. Gox, as you saw in my report. I mean, it could be quite possible. Mt. Gox and the Feds have come to a deal where the Feds are using the seized bitcoins to I guess trade or cash out through Mt. Gox. I mean that would make sense. I mean, if I wanted to sell my bitcoins that I seized from criminals, where would I take it? Well, I would take it to the highest price. It's that simple. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. I'm just speculating, and maybe that's what's going on here. And also, while they're doing that, they're looking at the people, the users, the investors who are on this exchange, and they're kind of scrutinizing them a little bit more, because they feel that maybe all the people who are buying and selling on Silk Road and committing crimes and frauds, they have accounts at Mt. Gox. Of course, a criminal would, because they see the money there and they say, "Wow, look at all that money." They're into the U.S. dollar. Well, that's how they're finding criminals, because they know that you are looking for U.S. dollars. It's as simple as that. I'm looking for bitcoins, and trading on the Mt. Gox platform, it makes sense to me. I mean, you've seen my videos. I've told you what I was thinking about on this trade, and look at it. I mean, it just, why would I not trade on this platform? The only issue I have now is I haven't received any support reply from support on the Bitcoin withdrawal. I tried to withdraw 0.1 Bitcoin, and it has not gone through yet, because I verified on the blockchain and nothing's happened. So I'm still waiting for a reply. I don't know what's going to happen or anything. I'd like to use those Bitcoins to, I don't know, get groceries if possible, but I'm still always buying and selling in the real world. So for whatever reason, whatever delays, I'm all right with it. I don't have an issue as long as there's uh, something legitimate going on behind all this. If this is a way to, I guess, seize other people's bitcoins through supposed, accusations, I would have a problem. Um, as far as the exchange goes, I don't see any weirdness with this particular exchange, considering how long it's been operational and how how big they were, but maybe now they're small, but still a lot of volume. These volumes that Mt. Gox is putting up, and even China, um, they're not that far off from Bitstamp, which is now considered number one. Maybe it's Bitsy. Bitsy, last time I saw, was the largest, but who knows? In any case, the volumes have dropped, and they've all dropped, but they'll probably pick back up again when the prices are going even higher. So, anyways, that's the chart analysis for today. Let's go. I mean, I'll look at them one more time on the 12-hour, and you see that the price never went up to go down. So Bitsy is probably where it is in proportion to where Mt. Gox is. Remember, it's 100. I'm sorry. So there's a hundred, about $100 difference here, and so it never hit up this high to fall. Um, so, and then we'll look at Bitstamp, which looks like it's actually pretty darn close. Let me see if I could get into a closer view here to see what happened. So it never really fell that much. Matter of fact, maybe people started going into Bitstamp because of the withdrawal issues over at Mt. Gox, and maybe some other issues at Bitsy. I mean, there's some reports that they're being investigated. So, in any case, as far as the price action goes, this Bitsy never came close to this. That's why it never dropped that far. So it did drop. Let me see what the price difference is. 60 to $70 from where this top is. So, that's not too bad for Bitstamp. That's about the price range. But if you look at Mt. Gox, you see that it's been testing this resistance line, and it's a tough resistance, and it fell. I mean, that makes sense to me. Although it's strange how things price move in correlation to news as well as a technical chart analysis. So it amazes me that how they coincide. If you've been trading long enough, the price moves based on technical analysis and news. It's kind of weird. But I guess it goes to show that what people think makes a difference, because your actions lead to thoughts, and your thoughts lead to actions, and those actions have a direct result in the physical world, which is, as you see right here. So there's a response to all this. This means when you see something like this, it means something as far as a total conscious thought of many individuals making buy and sell orders, basically saying yay or nay to a thing, and then you're basically you're sometimes I think stocks or chart analysis is nothing more than looking at a survey. And so if people who are in the survey business and understand how to interpret your surveys, this is nothing more than just that as well. Matter of fact, trading is nothing more than just a survey. I mentioned before, Bitcoin is nothing more than just like a voice or a way to vote. Money is a way to vote. Basically, you're choosing what to buy and what not to buy. So in reality, all this is nothing more than just a survey, if you want to think of it that way. So there's there's my chart analysis here. Um, so this is more of a chart episode. I might just go into some news here because I've been reading some stuff, and let's just go over some of that. High-speed link provider Precious to accept Bitcoin. Um, Looks like the financial industry is getting into maybe looking into trading Bitcoin because this company is gives internet or high-speed link uh, for financial industries for trading purposes, trading platforms. So this is we'll probably start seeing more. I would say some kind of exchange funded, an ETF maybe, or an actual Bitcoin exchange, maybe in America really soon. I'd like to trade in America if there was an exchange to trade in America. So right now there isn't, and I would like an actual real exchange. So remember, I could do this as a business, as a genuine business. It's going to change a lot of ways in how we do business too, and how when we purchase, when we don't purchase, when we save, or when we buy back in. I mean, it's really well, you've seen my episodes. I've already explained it. And oh yeah, here's another one. And wow, I guess as the market emerges, you're gonna get things like this. New lawsuit against Bitcoin miner manufacturer alleges fraud and negligence. And so a lot of things here, a lot of things. I mean, well, I guess you all can read it, but I guess we're gonna get I think you're gonna get more of these because maybe people don't think Bitcoin is money, and they don't have to comply with laws and regulation. Well, criminals found out the hard way that that's not true. So people who are manufacturing, companies that are manufacturing this, if you're a business operation and you make a claim to something, well, you have to claim it. And especially if you, I don't know if you saw my other previous episodes, but wire fraud also includes, your claim that you make over the internet. That's also a form of wire fraud. Any claim that is fraudulent through any act of communications, electronic, television, radio waves, whatever, can fall under wire fraud. It's so kind of broad in its language. So we're probably going to see more and more of this as time goes on. I mean, a lot of these Bitcoin companies that sprang up, they may have thought Bitcoin was not money, so therefore they're not breaking any laws and blah blah blah. But I think people are realizing Bitcoin is money, and they have legal ramifications if they didn't come through. In this particular case, I think someone did actually pay money, and now they're bringing I guess a lawsuit against this. I don't know if there's any crime that was committed. You don't have to have a lawsuit to bring a criminal action against a company. So who knows? I don't know. But anyways, there's that in the news, and I've told people, remember the gold rush. A lot of people made money selling everything except gold. So just just trying to keep everyone informed and safe out there. And okay, more Mt. Gox stuff. And oh yeah, coins, cards for coin. I was kind of concerned that maybe cards for coins or Gyft or some of the other gift cards that I was buying to buy things. I thought maybe they use BitPay, and maybe when I use my Mt. Gox account to pay for the Bitcoins to pay for these gift cards, maybe these companies were using BitInstant or something, because I can't withdraw any Bitcoins out of my Mt. Gox account. But when I looked at their policy, they use some other payment provider, and so does that other company, Gyft, or GYFT, that gift card company. So I've never used BitInstant, and I'm not sure why my account in particular is being used. I think that's just a claim that Mt. Gox is just using while they're complying with, I think, federal authorities on basically, I think they want to know who the users are and see if they match up to who they really are. And I think that's what's going to be happening here over at Mt. Gox. And then you'll start, Mt. Gox is in Japan. Japan is, an ally nation to America, so of course they're going to cooperate. And then also probably in UK as well. Of course, they're probably already cooperating. And, UK, I mean, I don't know where the Bitstamp is, but over there, you could just, anything financialized, I mean, they do some crazy stuff up to infinity. I mean, I could kind of understand why they do rehypothecation, because money is rehypothecated. So why not their financial instruments? Because if you know anything about money, you know that it just goes to infinity. So why not your financial instrument go to infinity? Because money can go to infinity. So it's the same concept as Bitcoin. Money printing can go to infinity. Bitcoin can go to infinity. Because Bitcoin is not issued in an infinite amount of times. It's a limited amount of times. The price of Bitcoin can go to infinity. I've been saying that for a while, but I don't know if anybody understands that. So sorry for the long episode here. I'm gonna close out here. Let's just close out on the chart here. So maybe if you want to see that, there you go. There's a chart, and it moved. There it moved. So you've been watching, and hopefully this helps you in your trading, in your purchasing, in your business, in your mining efforts. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what Bitcoin is and how it really works, and basically the power of Bitcoin. And it's amazing that it's has a life of its own, and it's going. So anyways, feel free to comment, like, dislike, or leave a video response. Until next time, stay tuned to the next episode. Bye.